Today we're going to look at an instructional freeware called Studiers. This can be found at www.studiers.com. So let's look at an overview of what Studiers is. Studiers is a website that students can use to take notes. They can create plain text, add graphs and charts, or free draw. They can also add in instructors' presentations into their own personal notes. These can be things like PowerPoints or PDF documents. Another useful feature is that once students have created these lessons or notes, they can share them with other students in the class. We'll go into these in a bit more detail in a few more slides. First, let's take a look at the basic setup of Studiers. Once a student has created a profile, they create what's called a notebook for each class. Here I've labeled my notebooks Class 1, Class 2, and Class 3, but they can label them whatever they want, such as the name of the class. They can also add in the instructor's name and the course ID number for more clarification. Within each of these notebooks or classes, students then create what's called a lesson. A lesson is where they take their notes. Now, within each notebook, they can have as many lessons as possible. So let's look at those features in a little more detail. Here you see the basic lesson screen. This is where I label my lesson or name it, and below that you see just a simple text box to take simple text notes. It's just like any other, like a Word document. You have bold, italic, underline, those sorts of things. What they can also do is add multiple text boxes within the same lesson. This is really useful if they have several sections of notes within one lesson or lecture to keep them separate from each other and for more clarity. Another feature is adding graphs and charts. This can be done by pressing the plus graph button below the text box. The charts and graphs are very simple, but they can be useful if you don't need any sort of complicated graph or anything like that. And again, they can add as many of these as they need. Another feature is the free draw feature. This can be used to take notes that aren't text, or if they need to create some sort of chart that can't be created with the chart feature in the previous slide. They simply press the plus draw pad button below the text box and draw whatever they need. Some examples are Venn diagrams, compare and contrast, or flow charts. This can be useful if you have notes on the board or smartboard that aren't text, that are some sort of picture or something. They can copy those into their own notes. So, like I said before, you can add an instructor's notes into their personal notes as well. To do this, they go to the right side of the lesson screen and press Upload. Again, this can be PowerPoints, PDFs, Word documents, and pretty much any type of file type is accepted. Once they press Upload, they just simply choose the file and name it. Here, I've chosen a PowerPoint for this example. Once that PowerPoint or PDF or Word document is uploaded, Studiers will convert it into images so they can view it on this right side of their Studiers screen. They can either add in the entire presentation to their notes, or if they just need to remember one slide or a couple slides, they simply click on the image that they need and it will automatically add that to their notes. Something else you will see is above those images something that says the ID for sharing is, and there will be a number. That number is used for students to share presentations with each other. For me to upload a presentation that someone else has uploaded already, instead of pressing upload on the right side of the lesson screen, I simply ask them what the ID is and enter that ID in this box here. From there, they would add it to their presentation the same way as the upload feature. Something else I mentioned was that they can share these notes and lessons with each other. To do this, they simply press Share this lesson on the bottom of the lesson screen before they close it. This can be really useful for students to compare notes and collaborate to study for projects or tests, or it can also be very, very useful when working on group projects. So once I've pressed this Share this lesson button, another little box will pop up. Here, I type in the username. Note, not their name, it's whatever their username is for this website. Once I start typing, a drop menu will come down with several names, and I simply click whatever name I need, and it will pop up here. You can also add as many names as you need. Once you've shared this lesson with somebody, it will automatically appear on their shared lessons page. So, how do they use these lessons or notes once they've created them? It will save it in their notebooks. So if they go into a notebook and press on the lesson that they need to view, it will pop up in a screen like this. And the nice feature about this is that it shows all the elements in one spot. Here you see my lesson name, the text that I typed out, the chart I made, and the free draw. And if I had added that PowerPoint to it, that would also be in here as well. You also see some buttons down here. Once they've saved their lesson, they are able to press Edit Lesson and go in and change anything they need to. Some other useful features that are down in these buttons is that they can print this lesson or save it as a PDF to their computer. So how does this benefit students? Well, the main reason it benefits them is having everything they need in one central location. They have their personal notes, and they have the instructor's notes all in one website, all their classes in one area. This is very good for organization and makes studying a lot easier. Another way that it's more organized is that it's much more organized than having the students print out PowerPoints or other notes and bringing those to class and students being forced to take notes on the side of those. This is a lot easier for them to read and study off of later on. It also keeps lessons in chronological order for easy studying. If I don't name my lessons or put a date on them, I still know which lesson came before the other ones. So you're probably wondering how this is useful for instructors. It sounds great for students, but what about me? How can I use it as a teacher? Well, there's a few different things you can do, but you have to get creative. First off, you would create your own account on Studiers. What you can do is you can create your lessons for each class on there and share that with the students. So not only can they take their own notes, but they can have your version of the notes as well. It can also work in the vice versa way. Students can share their notes with you. This can also be used as a creative way to turn in assignments. It's not ideal for turning in things like papers or other Word documents, but it can be used to turn in PowerPoints, or they can find a way to create their own presentation using that lessons feature, and they would turn it in by sharing it with you. You can also have students use this as a forum to work on group projects. If students are working on a group project and each one is assigned a different role, they can constantly share their notes with each other and update their notes to keep everybody updated and working together on that project, even if they can't meet face to face. You can also use it to monitor students' progress. This is just an idea that was thrown around, but it could be used in a pop quiz fashion. You could require students to use this website, and then the pop quiz fashion is that you tell them to share with you the notes from April 23rd, or you do it on a bi-weekly or weekly basis. Again, that was just an idea that someone threw around, but you can take these and make them their own. So I encourage you to go to studiers.com and create a profile and find as many useful ways as possible for students and yourself.